Hi, I'm John Michaels, and this is my wife Karen, and together we own and operate the Silly Chickens Lodge in Mooresville, North Carolina. And in that lodge, we have installed, about a year and a half ago, a Scalar Wave Center. And Karen's going to read off a list of some of the things that are observed by Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, who actually brought the technology to centers like ours and more than 400 others worldwide.
Yeah, the name of our center is Energy Enhancement of Charlotte. Here's the list. Repair DNA, detoxify the body of heavy metals and pesticides, return the body to your optimal state. She states the power that made the body can heal the body. Reduces aging, increases telomeres, increases the mitochondrial activity, which is the energy house of the body or the life force of your body. Every nerve cell has it, and every nerve cell needs regeneration. Increase millivolts of the cells to keep them optimal at 70 to 90 millivolts. Alkalizes the body. Increases circulation, oxygenation of the cells. Increases mood, reduces stress, feelings of peacefulness and happiness. Reduces pain, increases the immune system. Nullification of detrimental fields like radiation, EMF, and ELF. Increases brain function. Reverses inflammation. Grounding effects. Improves sleep. Balancing of the right and left brain hemispheres. Photonic and scalar energy technology.
Great. So we know firsthand about the balancing of the left and right brain. Karen, 4 years ago, had a brain bleed while we were on vacation in Kentucky, and we went into the hospital. She had a bad headache, and we found out that she had to go in for immediate brain surgery. So we spent that vacation 21 days in ICU at, coincidentally, Kentucky's newest and most advanced brain trauma center, the Norton Brain Trauma Center teaching hospital. So she was very fortunate. We left there after 21 days and she was feeling fine, we thought, but then we learned about so we had brain mapping done, and there was a little bit of left to right brain activity that was not correct. At the same time, we were learning about the EE system, so we decided to go see Sean in Lexington, Kentucky at the time. He had an 8-unit center. We went there and we had a 2-hour session. Karen had a miraculous session. She had a great session. When we came back, we had brain mapping done again, and Karen's brain activity, however they measure it, from left to right, had improved 52% with her eyes open and 49% with them closed. And the company did that. The techs were just blown away. So we knew that this was something that worked and something that we wanted to bring to our community.
So basically, the units are opposing fields.
PC,
creates the scalar, and then the scalar comes to a specific point in the center of the room. They're aligned by lasers. I think you mentioned that already. And that creates what's called a photon fountain, and then that in turn creates a toroidal field. So contained in this room are all these photons floating around, so to speak.
Yep, absolutely.
And you're sitting in a comfortable chair, like you see us sitting, and these fully recline. It's optimum to go to sleep, which is what happened to me at that center in Kentucky. I went into a very, very deep state of sleep. I had such a profound awareness that something had changed or shifted in my brain when we came out of that center. So I'm a living testimony right here in front of you.
And we have many others.
Yes,
there's a lot of things that have happened.
Many others.
But some of the controversy about the centers is people say, well, how many units do you have? So right away, I know that they've done some research, and there is controversy as far as how many units are effective. Well, when we purchased our system, we had the opportunity to work with an ex-Marine, and she was very, very helpful. She directed me to look at the data, the clinical data on the website at EE System, which I did. And the clinical data at that time was for 4 units and 8 units. And there was nothing above that. So when I asked her how many units we needed, she said, John, did you read the documents I told you about? So I said, yes. And she said, so you tell me how many units you'd like to get. And I said, well, I guess 8 is the maximum that I need. And she said, you're absolutely correct. I just wanted 8 because it goes around the room better than 4 units, 1 in each corner.
Well, and I had such a profound effect
With
from
an
an
8-unit
8-unit
system.
system.
So that's
in
what sold
Kentucky.
us, actually. You're correct. Yeah.
And 8 is the infinity symbol sideways.
Yeah, there you go.
Infinity is pretty much how I think of the creator.
And there have been no studies and no proof that 12 units or 24 or 48 are any better than 8 units.
They're not any worse.
They're not any worse.
Nope.
But it's kind of like filling a glass of water. Once it's filled, what's the point in pouring more water into it? It's just going to run out and be useless. This is just my opinion, by the way. But the company, I've had people come here that have gone to systems that have 12 units close to us.
24s.
12s and 24s for overnights, and told me themselves that they felt more here in our center than they did in the centers that had more equipment. So it got me to thinking, why would this be that way? So I had a guest in that actually his company does calibrations for the government, equipment calibrations. So he came in the room and he said, well, it's obvious, John. You have to look at the size of the room and how far apart the units are. So let's say the units are only 10 feet apart, and you want to line them up on a exact within 1/100 of an inch plane so that they come together and create the explosion, which creates the photon energy. So if you have units that are 10 feet apart, you can calibrate them. He said that 20 feet was probably the maximum that he would want to try to calibrate something. But long story short, if this unit is just 1/1000th off over here, it's going to shoot that signal way above this one. So my thought is that our shelves are all steel shelves bolted to the wall. Our house is on a granite foundation, so nothing moves in this house. So my thought is that our calibration is better, and it doesn't matter how many units we have. They're operating at 100% efficiency, and they work. They work as simple as that.
Well, we've had so many experiences here with humans and animals that you cannot dispute it. We have had 2 dogs that have come in here that needed to be detoxified. One was from we believe, the rabies shot, and the other one was from ingesting rat poisoning. Both cases, the dogs knew where to go and what to do. They sat right in the center of the room.
So we were talking about the effects of the blood levels. So what happened was the one dog had its rabies shot and had an adverse reaction to it. Actually, the gentleman spent almost $3,000 on MRIs and found out that there was nothing that they could find that was wrong with the dog. So he heard about our system. He brought him in. He was here for 2 hours. He called me the next morning and he said, John, you've got a miracle there. He said, my dog is so happy. He's healthy. He's energized. He's eating well. So, that's just one thing that's happened. We had another one that evidently got into some type of poisoning. He was bleeding out. They came here.
That one took a little longer.
That one took longer. He was here overnight, but the system actually raised blood levels and the platelets. So we found out also, not to ramble on, but the platelets are important for people that have cancer that are going through chemo. They need to keep their platelet levels up. So we have several people that come in between chemo treatments. I don't believe that you can come in here and be healed of cancer, because I've never seen it happen, and I don't want to repeat something that's happened somewhere else and give somebody false hopes. But I do know that it raises the blood levels and keeps them feeling better in between chemo. So whether it
because
prolongs,
we had a client
that happened to, and that's how he explained it to us. That's really the major things, but people just come in and they feel better.
Well, the one thing that you noticed after our initial session in Kentucky that you weren't even expecting, and this is what's so interesting about the system, is you never know what it's going to affect. We were driving home from Kentucky, and I'm like on cloud 9 because I had this like amazing experience, and I would shut up about it. And John's like driving, and he's like, my fingers don't hurt.
These 3 fingers, before I went into the system, they hurt like, I don't know if I had arthritis or what, but they were always hurting me for months prior to going to Kentucky. The point where I would put them in a glass of ice water when I was watching TV. But on the way back, I realized that my fingers didn't hurt anymore. I don't know what was wrong with them, but I know they don't hurt anymore to this day, almost 2 years later. It affects everybody differently. It works great with anxiety.
The A's.
But the A's, the
anxiety,
A's. We have clients that are
autism.
autistic. He calms down wonderfully when he's here, and
arthritis.
but I wanted to talk about how our center works. We're what's called a PMA. We're a ministry. PMA is a private membership association. They were developed during Prohibition, where taverns and stuff started these clubs where you could come in and pay $1 and then you're allowed to drink. And the PMAs have been upheld in Supreme Court. We did a PMA just to kind of keep things private and let us do the things that we wanted to do here, because this is not medicine. It's totally holistic. We very rarely use the word heal. So anyway, we're a membership organization, and the way we work is you come in the first time, I pay for the first hour of your first session, and you pay the second, which is $30. If you decide that you want to join, we charge you $35 a year on an annual basis, and then you keep a credit card on file and allow us to charge $30 a month to that credit card. And then when you come in for your next visit after your card's charged, you get a 2-hour session for $30. But not only that, we have taken it to another level because our systems are paid for. If you come in after your credit card has been charged the $30, then you pay once $30, and then you get 4 more visits for $30 per session of 2 hours. So it ends up being $15 an hour, which is more than affordable for everybody. We have found that people are coming in much more than they had before we did the deal. And that's really what we want to do, is we want to have people come in more often. When you put your card on file, we give you a code to our door. You register online, and your scheduling is online by yourself. We don't have to be here. You just come and go. You open the keypad on the door, kind of like a gym membership.
Just like our guest that just arrived.
Yeah, just like our guest
We're
that just
here
arrived.
Filming. We didn't even know she registered an hour ago. So,
Yeah,
so we're going to wrap this up so she can get into her time.
I do want to get back to one thing, though. I want to get back to the levels. So what I was trying to explain there is that we have a small center, and there's not a lot of distance between the units. So if you can imagine a center that has their units 30, maybe even 40 feet apart from each other, it is theoretically impossible, in my opinion, and that of the gentleman that was here that does this for a living, to be able to bring 2 things together at that distance and have them collide on the same plane on a consistent level. Any type of adjustment or any vibration would change that. Someone walking near the systems could change it. So that's why we think that our system is working better than other systems. Don't be shy. We don't need to know what's wrong with you. We don't need to know what's right with you. Some people think I'm a doctor, and I'm not. We're not here to prescribe anything. We're just here to help your body heal the way God intended it to.
This is going to give you that environment. It's basically all this is creating. It's creating that environment where your body can say, what is this? Because we're not used to it anymore.
Right.
Because everything is so polluted that in the world that we live in, and if it's not a chemical pollution, frequency pollution. So when you're in here, your body is like,
it's like in a zone, a clear zone.
When I come in here and I take my Scalar time, I'll say to John, I'll just take like an hour, 20, 30 minutes, hour and 30 minutes, I'll be good.
Yeah, right.
3 hours later, I'm waking up and it's like I've been in a time warp. My body speaks very well to this field, and this field speaks very well to my body. So it's...
And it may not work for everybody. So if you come in and don't experience anything, you're not under any commitment. I would like you to try it at least twice before you make your final decision, because it is a cumulative technology, just like a pill. You don't take a pill and right away you feel fine. Sometimes you have to take it for a couple of weeks till your system, gets adjusted to it and things are well. But it is worth a try. I'll tell you, you can't go wrong. It can't hurt you. It can only help you feel better. And today there's so many people in all different kinds of pain. I just wish that you would come in and give it a try and join us if you like it. You can reach us at energyenhancementofcharlotte.com, or you can call us at 704-880-6840. Anyway, we'd like you to come and try it. We hope to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Well, I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to interrupt
Oh,
that.
what's that?
I've been having terrible anxiety lately.